Ritual. The Ritual is the story of 4 friends who decide to hike a trail in the Swedish wilderness instead of going for something more festive. Needless to say, the trip goes horribly awry. Not relying much on jump scares, the movie instead creates a dense atmosphere through its solid characters who make you feel the anxiety that runs through the night. The movie relies on the power of suggestion, the faraway whispers, wind running through the trees, and the eerie tranquility. The Ritual is streaming on Netflix. Suspiria. An above-the-cut rendition of a horror classic, Suspiria follows an American dancer played by Dakota Johnson who joins a new company only to discover the studio's sinister secrets. The theme revolves around the fears of knowing that the evil days that you think have passed might just not have. The new dancer, the choreographer, and a grieving psychotherapist get embroiled in a bloodstained nightmare. Don't miss out on the enduring soundtrack by Radiohead and the brilliant Thom Yorke. Suspiria is available on Amazon Prime Video. Mother. Darren Aronofsky's psychological horror is as polarizing as a movie can be. The movie follows a couple, the husband as a writer played by Javier Bardem and his wife Jennifer Lawrence faithfully making a home for the two of them in an isolated country house. However, the panic induces as their privacy is time and again being encroached upon, and the husband keeps gaslighting her that nothing is actually wrong. While this movie is essentially an experience, you'll be thrilled, scared, frustrated, enlightened all at the same time. You can watch Mother on Amazon Prime Video. Sinister. Ethan Hawke plays a crime novelist who, along with his wife Tracy and their 2 kids, move into a new residence to start their next big project wherein the previous residents were murdered. This one is a mix of its protagonist's growing obsession to unravel the mystery, creepy kids, ghostly lighting, leading up to loads of jump scare moments. Sinister is streaming on Netflix. Lights Out. Lights Out is a full-length feature film version of the award-winning short film made by the same director. At its center, Lights Out is about a monster who strikes when, well, the lights are out. The best thing about this one is the use of a monster's entity as a metaphor, as something we'll leave it up to you to guess. This one will give you some anxiety as it uses pitch darkness as its tool, which is undoubtedly unnerving as nothing is scarier than the deceptions of your own mind, isn't it? Lights Out is streaming on Amazon Prime Video. The Babadook. This one is a spooky tale of a single mother and a young son being tormented by an evil spirit that gets manifested in their home through a book called Mr. Babadook. The monster hides in the dark areas of their house and the members of the house try in vain to destroy the book. Made on a small budget, the movie runs a gamut of emotions based on human beings' most innate fears, both spiritual and momentary. Praised by one and all, no doubt this one has been hailed by William Friedkin, the director of The Exorcist, the scariest film that he had ever seen. The Babadook is streaming on Amazon Prime Video. Oculus. Another movie to tap on mirrors as a tool to give out spooks. Herein a brother and sister try to destroy a surrealistic mirror that drives people to insanity through its maddening hallucinations. This one has to be one of the most minutely scaled horror hits of the recent years, successful in making you question the sanity of the leads through its flashes of horror tropes. You can watch Oculus on Netflix and Amazon Prime Video. The Shining. Of course, Stanley Kubrick's The Shining remains to be one of the scariest horror flicks of all times that has aged like a fine wine. Jack Nicholson plays Jack Torrance, who takes up the job of an off-season caretaker at the Overlook Hotel. He's warned that the previous caretaker ended up murdering his wife and 2 daughters with an axe and then shot himself in the head. The sight of discomforting glint in Jack's eyes, the bloodbath, the twins at the end of the corridor are bound to stay in your head and give you sleepless nights for the years to come. The Shining is available on Netflix. Europa Report. An out-of-the-world pick from the list, the space horror sets out with a group of astronauts who set out to find out traces of life on Jupiter's 4th largest moon, Europa, and well, things go south. The direction, cinematography, and ominous atmosphere takes us through the horrifying nature of a space flight. This documentary-style flick works on tension and found footage, which is one of the most popular gimmick of horror movies that still works, only in a more intelligent setting, the outer space. You can enjoy Europa Report on Netflix. In the Tall Grass. After hearing a boy's cry for help, a pregnant woman along with a brother head into the vast field of grass, only to find out that there may be no way out. Without any exterior demonic entity to heap blame, In the Tall Grass is replete with all the terrifying twists and turns that one would expect from a movie based on a Stephen King novella. Even though the ending is not as good as its parts, the mind-numbing plot makes it worth a watch. In the Tall Grass is streaming on Netflix.